Hey guys, it's Ellie and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, you're watching the review of Zuni Chopra's The Island of the Day Before, which is an amazing collection of some amazing fantasy short stories that I read recently. This book came out just 3 days ago and I think I finished it within 3 or 4 hours because it was so entertaining and grasping. So without any further ado, let's get into this review. Now, first thing about Zuni Chopra, she's just 17 and she has written 4 books. I have no words to say, but I just am regretting the fact that 2 years ago when I was 17, I was doing nothing as productive as Zuni. In a nutshell, this book is a fantasy genre book. A beginner can also read this book with a little bit of patience because it's very comprehensible. This book is a collection of short stories mainly, but there are also short prose and poetry pieces which are extremely awesome. The writing style Zuni possesses is very enchanting, and fantasy stories must have enchanting writing style because that just enhances the whole flavor of the story. And I noticed that the theme of a kingdom and water is very recurrent in her stories. It might not be her intention though, but I really felt that water as a destructive and life-giving force has been reinforced in several short stories, and I absolutely loved that. There's an amazing poem called The Sailor's Wife in which water has been portrayed at its best. So The Island of the Day Before is not only a collection of short stories, but she also writes short poems and prose pieces which I equally loved. My favorite short story from this book was The Merchant and the Gnome, and the titular story, that is The Island of the Day Before. And I won't give you any spoiler, but I will just say that one concept that I really loved that she introduces in this book is the idea of the land above and the land beyond reality, which was introduced in this in the story Merchant and the Gnome. I absolutely loved it. She writes magically, like most of her stories are in the magical realm, and when she writes poetry, her poetry also has some magical elements. Her writing style, her diction, all of them have some magical elements which I absolutely found enchanting. I have no idea how such a young person can write such brilliant stories, but I think she gives the answer herself because she writes that she reads Neil Gaiman and Lewis Carroll, and they are my favorite authors too, and they have written some crazy and amazing stories in this genre. Neil Gaiman is such a favorite of mine. However, when I was reading this book, I really felt that if you're reading Zuni Chopra, you can't not read Zoe Gilbert's Folk. Folk is way more complicated than The Island of the Day Before, definitely, but I really liked Folk when I read it, and it was similar in the concept of a magical land and magical things happening there. I totally love this genre, and I totally love any writer who brings to life all these magical elements like Zuni does. Also guys, let's talk about the super pretty cover. This cover is by Steve Liard and I absolutely love it. I'll probably keep it on display for a long time after I am done reading this because it's so gorgeous. There's a short story in this book called The End of the Lane, and I think it's sort of inspired from Neil Gaiman's The Ocean at the End of the Lane, and I really think that if you're reading both of them, you'll have a better understanding of this genre. Now, Neil Gaiman's books are also available as audiobooks on Storytel, so make sure you're grabbing them on Storytel. You'll get a 30-day free trial from the link in the description below, so make sure you're grabbing it on Storytel. But I really hope that Zuni's books also are available as audiobooks anytime soon because her writing is very brilliant and must be read by everybody. Now, I rate this book 4.5 stars out of 5 because obviously there's so much room for improvement. She's just 17 and I really want her to keep writing more books. The links to all Zuni's books are in the description below, so make sure you are grabbing her books in case you want to support her and me as well, because these are my affiliate links and I'll get a small commission for every purchase you make. That helps me keeping posting content on my channel because I have a dream of making India read. In case you want to support me directly, you can do that by becoming a patron on patreon.com/thehellyblog, which is in the description as well. By becoming a patron, you can enjoy a lot of exclusive benefits like like getting behind the scene information, getting exclusive content and emails, personalized book recommendations, mentions in my future videos, and you'll also get books if you are opting for the higher tiers on the Patreon page. Make sure that you're going and checking out my Patreon page and becoming a patron in case you want to have a deeper connection with me. And make sure that you like this video. Make sure you're commenting below if you like the genre of fantasy or not, because I'd like to know your views. And till my next video, bye bye.